Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer, spoke candidly about the current state of professional golf, emphasizing that decisions about the future of the game aren't his to make. He acknowledged that while some players left the PGA Tour for other opportunities, he remains focused on competing where he plays, facing those players only a few times a year, and doing his best without worrying about what's beyond his control. His calm, disciplined approach was tested at the 2025 Ryder Cup, an event meant to celebrate international pride and the sport's finest talents, but instead marred by tension as some American fans began shouting at European legend Rory McIlroy, disrupting the traditionally composed atmosphere. Scheffler, typically composed and focused, surprised everyone by turning to the crowd and signaling for respect, a gesture that went viral and sparked widespread debate. While many praised his composure, others saw it as evidence of deeper frustration bubbling beneath golf's polished surface. Observers noted that this moment revealed long-simmering tensions between fans, players, and tours organizers, highlighting that professional golf was no longer just about maintaining appearances. Scheffler's dominance in 2025 was undeniable, marked by his historic Open Championship win at Royal Portrush. But his leadership and composure in moments like the Ryder Cup showed that golf's calm image was changing rapidly. He credited Captain Keegan and the vice-captains for putting the team in a position to succeed, praising their preparation and guidance. Scheffler emphasized that modern golf is no longer just about precision. It now demands composure, adaptability, and leadership in the face of public scrutiny and unexpected challenges. Scottie Scheffler's 2025 season wasn't just about winning tournaments. It was about navigating the emotional minefield of modern golf and handling pressure when the world was watching. At the Open Championship, his victory carried a hint of tension as local fans rallied behind hometown hero Rory McIlroy, mixing cheers with sharp remarks and moments of silence. Scheffler later admitted that some comments went too far, acknowledging that spectators often speak in the heat of competition without thinking. And while those remarks didn't break his focus, they lingered. The moment revealed a deeper truth. Golf had become emotionally divided, where supporting one player sometimes meant tearing another down. Scheffler handled it with quiet professionalism, letting his game speak louder than words. He soon returned to form at the BMW Championship at Caves Valley, winning again, though even that event came with its own pressures, including being put on the clock for slow play alongside Robert McIntyre. A reminder that no one, not even the world's best tees, exempt from the rules. At Bethpage Black in New York, the Ryder Cup atmosphere reached a boiling point, with passionate crowds creating an electric but tense environment, particularly for McIlroy and the European team. Scheffler, who had faced similar treatment earlier in the season, chose a different approach, signaling for the crowd to calm down and showing a rare act of composure that drew widespread attention. Observers noted that his parents also played a quiet but meaningful role. His father politely intervened with a heckler, and his mother maintained composure despite the escalating tension. Across these events, Scheffler's 2025 season highlighted that golf is no longer just a game of precision. It's a test of emotional control, resilience, and leadership in the face of unpredictable pressures on and off the course. It was a surreal image. The world's top golfer, Scottie Scheffler, supported by his family, quietly helping to maintain calm during one of golf's most high-profile events, despite reminders from the PGA of America urging fans to respect the players. The warnings barely cut through the roaring crowd, and the very fact that a player's family had to step in highlighted just how tense the situation had become. In the aftermath, a wave of public apologies and reflection swept through the sport, exposing the depth of the problem. Reports emerged that even the tournament's master of ceremonies had stoked the crowd during heated moments, a move that drew swift backlash and eventually led to him stepping down, a symbolic gesture that, while insufficient to solve everything, underscored how seriously the PGA was taking the matter. Then came a powerful statement from golf legend and two-time U.S. Ryder Cup captain Tom Watson, who took to social media to write, "I'd like to apologize for the rude and mean-spirited behavior from our American crowd at Bethpage," he added. "As a former player, captain, and as an American, I am ashamed of what happened." That single word, "ashame," resonated widely with fans and players alike. Soon after, U.S. team captain Keegan Bradley admitted that the crowd's behavior had crossed a line, and American players themselves issued formal apologies to their European rivals. It was a rare and humbling moment, athletes apologizing not for their own performance, but for the uncontrolled passion that spilled over from the stands. The incident revealed just how strained the relationship between players and fans had become. It was no longer simply about cheering or shouting. It was about a loss of control that shook golf's long-standing traditions of respect and composure. As Europe celebrated its Ryder Cup victory, many began questioning what this meant for the future of golf and its image on the global stage. By standing up for fairness and respect, Scheffler had unintentionally sparked a larger conversation about leadership in the sport. His calm, measured response became symbolic, a reminder that golf was at a crossroads between its heritage and the raw emotions of the modern era. For years, the PGA Tour had faced questions about its identity, first through its high-profile rivalry with LIV Golf, and now through cultural tension among its own fans. The same organization that once penalized Scheffler for slow play was now under scrutiny for failing to manage the crowd, revealing the complex and evolving challenges of leadership and decorum in professional golf. It raised one defining question that still echoes to 2026. Who is truly protecting the spirit of the game? If the world's top golfer, known for humility and focus, has to step in to calm the crowd, then perhaps golf's biggest challenge isn't on the course anymore, but in managing passion and respect in a changing era. Golf's image took a serious hit as headlines, talk shows, and social media erupted with debates over responsibility. Was it the fans, the PGA, or the players themselves? Opinions were divided, but one truth emerged: the sport had reached a turning point. Sponsors reportedly began expressing quiet concern, worried that golf's reputation for class and composure was slipping into tension and unpredictability. Through it all, Scottie Scheffler remained mostly silent, letting his actions speak louder than words. According to insiders, he held private discussions with PGA officials, urging them to address fan behavior at major tournaments more thoughtfully. He wasn't calling for harsher penalties, he wanted fairness, structure, and respect. That stance showed leadership and conviction, even if it placed him at odds with parts of golf's establishment. Meanwhile, the PGA issued statements promising reviews and improvements, though many fans and analysts saw it as little more than damage control rather than true reform. Still, Scheffler's calm, consistent presence turned him into a quiet symbol of integrity, someone standing for values beyond trophies or rankings. By early 2026, the tension hadn't disappeared, had evolved. Reports circulated that several top players were reconsidering their participation in upcoming PGA events, citing ongoing concerns about crowd behavior and the overall atmosphere surrounding the sport. The rumors grew louder, and once again, Scheffler found himself at the center of golf's biggest debate. Sources indicated he was actively engaging with both PGA officials and player representatives, advocating for reforms to ensure competitors were treated fairly on and off the course. His stance wasn't about comfort or privilege, it was about principle. One insider quoted him saying, "Respect has to be a standard, not an option." Meanwhile, LIV Golf reportedly seized the moment, subtly highlighting that their events were more organized and controlled. Those comments didn't sit well with PGA supporters, who accused LIV of leveraging the controversy for attention. The growing divide between the two tours made golf's global future feel more uncertain than ever. And then came the twist that caught everyone off guard. Multiple outlets reported that Scottie Scheffler had been privately approached by international promoters with a proposal for a new, neutral tournament series, global event free from league politics or rivalries, focused purely on competition and unity. The news immediately sparked speculation online. Could Scheffler, the calm and steady world number one, be the one to lead golf into a new era? Insiders noted that he hadn't dismissed the idea outright, leaving fans worldwide to wonder if a major shift in the sport's balance was quietly taking shape behind the scenes. Scheffler reportedly listened carefully to the offers, but sources stressed that his loyalty runs deep. If he were to walk away from the PGA, it wouldn't be without cause. Sensing growing pressure, the PGA became visibly more protective of its players and public image. Leaked reports suggested behind-the-scenes discussions about tightening contracts and revising appearance rules, which only fueled further speculation. What began as a simple call for respect at Bethpage had evolved into a broader debate about leadership, values, and control within professional golf. Fans began picking sides, some applauding Scheffler's calm push for accountability, others questioning whether he was overreacting to a heated moment. Those close to him insisted it was personal. The Bethpage incident had stayed with him, motivating his push for change not only in policy but in spirit. Golf legends like Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player publicly called for unity and perspective, with Nicklaus praising Scheffler's composure as a reminder of what golf should represent. Yet the tension within the sport remained tangible. The PGA eventually announced a fan conduct reform plan, introducing new event marshals, stricter crowd management, and potential penalties for repeat offenders. While seen as progress, many felt it came too late. As 2026 unfolded, professional golf adopted a more cautious tone. Events ran more smoothly, but heightened security and guarded behavior from players revealed that the emotional scars from Bethpage were still healing. Scheffler's dominance on the course never waned, yet each victory carried the shadow of the controversy. Interviews shifted from scores and trophies to deeper questions about leadership, respect, and the sport's direction. "It's not just about who wins anymore," one commentator observed. "It's about what the game truly represents." Behind the scenes, PGA officials worked tirelessly to rebuild trust, implementing community outreach programs, fan education initiatives, and partnerships promoting sportsmanship and integrity. Yet the question lingered: had the PGA truly learned from the controversy, or were they merely covering deeper issues? By the end of 2026, it was clear that golf had reached a turning point, and the events of Bethpage continued to shape the sport's evolution. Scottie Scheffler's quiet courage had sparked a global conversation, not just about fan behavior, but about responsibility, unity, and the integrity of competition. He never sought to become the face of reform, yet his steady example made him exactly that. When Scheffler stepped onto the course at Augusta that spring, the cheers were measured, the tone calmer, and the crowd seemed to understand the significance of the moment. It felt like a renewal not just for him, but for the entire game. Reporters called it a new era of accountability as players began speaking more openly, and fans rediscovered their role in shaping the atmosphere that makes golf truly special. For the first time in years, the sport wasn't about rivalry or prize money. It was about respect and integrity. As Scheffler lifted yet another trophy in 2026, the message felt undeniable. Golf may have stumbled, but it hadn't lost its way. Analysts argued that the controversy revealed the cost of the PGA's hands-off approach. In trying to energize fans, the organization had unintentionally allowed tensions to spiral. Scheffler's decision to speak up wasn't merely about defending Rory McIlroy, was a challenge to the system itself. His calm but firm actions demanded accountability from leadership, proving that excitement should never come at the expense of respect. When history looks back on the 2025 Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black, it likely won't be remembered for scores or putts, but for the lessons that followed. Scheffler emerged as an unexpected voice of conscience, a figure who reminded the world that true sportsmanship still matters. His quiet refusal to tolerate toxic fan behavior, both as a target and a witness, reshaped the sport's perspective on responsibility. Now, as 2026 continues, questions remain. Will the PGA and global golf authorities ensure respect stays at the center of the game? Will fans face stricter codes of conduct? Will players receive more protection, or be left to manage tense moments alone again? These are challenges the PGA and other governing bodies can no longer avoid. Scheffler never set out to become a reformer, but by standing his ground, he sparked a conversation that reshaped the sport. His quiet stance proved that leadership in golf isn't just about power or performance, it's about principle. Sometimes the strongest statement isn't a booming drive down the fairway. It's the courage to speak up when others stay silent. The PGA may have tried to keep the system steady, but Scheffler's message reached far beyond the scorecards. He reminded the world that integrity and respect will always be the true trophies of the game.